I know what it feels like to be powerless, and I know what it feels like to be hopeless. For me, happiness was about the things that I had. I couldn't fulfill anything. It was a constant seeking that was external. I understood life to be that, this is just what you get. Like this is what life looks like. As I explored myself, I realized that I didn't have to abide by that structure of suffering, and that I could unravel and uproot those belief systems that are keeping me in suffering. For me, it's really teaching people how to go within. It's just all about understanding what your reality is, and we all perceive reality in a totally different way. So the first step is to become aware. Think of the ages of 1 to 7. That is your foundation of programming, was the 1 to 7. What were you told as to what a good girl or a bad girl looked like, or a good boy and a bad boy look like? Or what was it that your parents showed you that was love? What did the news show you at that age? What did you learn? What did you take in? You carry those programs throughout your teenage years, then your adult years, becoming a parent, or whatever your journey is. You're carrying all of those programs of how you're supposed to be in life, how you're supposed to show up. Because when you're told something and you believe it and accept it, you literally are creating limited beliefs about what your reality is. It can be changed. Your past does not have to dictate what your future is. And I think the belief system that we have as a collective consciousness is that you got to analyze the past so it doesn't happen again. And you got to make sure that you watch out. It's again that survival mode. So this is just a different shift of looking at where does your perception come from and how do we look at that and break it down. It really is breaking down, first of all, your belief system. The belief systems are what you need to uproot, because once you can uproot them, you can then redefine what it is that you want. Once you have beliefs, but in order to break down beliefs, you have to understand the story that you're telling about your life. What is the story that you tell about your love life? What's the story that you tell about food? What's the story that you tell about sex, family? Whatever that relationship is, what is your story? Because that is huge to be aware of what your story is. Then to break that down more, you want to understand what words you're using. Because words are powerful. If there's anything that I started out with learning was my definition for words. Because words are what provide us the information to say, this means this means that. And we are essentially defining our reality based on the words that we use and the story that we tell. Once you understand your words, where do words come from? They come from thoughts. And thoughts are energy. Thoughts are what create your story. Thoughts are what create your belief system. Thoughts are what create the whole reality. My work here is to really get to the deep root to be able to help you understand where is the pain coming from. A lot of it is coming from something that happened to you from the ages of 1 to 7. So really going deep and uprooting that. It really is like a weed. If you think of it like a weed, it's something that you gotta take it by the core. That way you're not just healing the symptoms, you're actually getting to that deep root. And all the deep roots are stemming from our belief systems about what we believe to be true. So when I work with clients, the whole goal is to help them uproot the root cause of the blockage, and then not only to uproot and understand that process, but then to reprogram what it is that they want to define their life or how they want to define it. And a lot of people have just accepted that this is their life, this root and this suffering, that this is just what it is and this is what life looks like. But once they uproot, you can help them understand, well, what is it that you truly want in this? Let's talk about love with a man. What is it that you would like to define that as? How do we change the pattern of thoughts to something that you want to create? And so it's helping them really understand and tap into that intuitive side of them, which is our creative side, which is that visionary side, which is really things that you can control, that you would like your life to look like. So for me, when we talked about old Erica and that validation that I seeked outwardly and that love that I seek outwardly, the idea of understanding exactly what suffering is, which is my own, it's me being a prisoner of my own mind. It's everything that's happening in my mind, my perception of what life looks like. So for me, now that I'm aware and I use my tools and my different techniques, the moment that a negative emotion comes up, I'm able to define that, uproot it, and then reprogram it. So emotions right now in my life, in my current reality, is that they don't control me. They're more there to guide me. So if it feels good, I literally go with the bliss. I'm in a constant state of happiness because I get to choose to do so. Everything that comes into my reality, I truly believe that I create, and it's something that I can learn from. It's an opportunity for growth rather than something that pulls me into my dark side or pulls me into my cave and I don't want to deal with life anymore. Like it's a totally different perspective of life that I have that keeps me in that balance and my alignment with my mind, body, spirit. And it's a sense of peacefulness that I wake up every day. I get to choose. I get to make the decision of how I want the day to go. I am fully in control of my life, and that to me is where I've taken over control of my life again. Everything comes back to self-love. Everything. Because when you start to understand your emotions, you start mastering your emotions, you start being observant of your environment, you no longer allow your external environment to dictate how you feel, how you show up in life. You're taking that control back, and you're understanding that the love that you have is really, once you uproot all of these beliefs that you have, it really opens you up to understanding your own true love for yourself. You are observing and then recreating your life. So you're literally just constantly recreating something new for yourself, creating something new. What is it that I don't like about this experience? How can I shift that into something that I do want? Instead of staying in a state of suffering, you now have this internal love for yourself to know that you have full control and you can actually create whatever you want for your own reality. It's your reality. The most important relationship is the relationship with yourself.